My late great Aunt Rose told me that I could sing before I could speak. And I remember being a little girl in the back of the station wagon, rocking and singing. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Singing and rocking were ways to soothe my soul. And my soul needed a lot of soothing. I moved a lot as a kid. Every time my dad had a business opportunity, we would move. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then about a year later we moved to Rockland County, New York. And from there moved to Florida when I was 5, then moved to Oklahoma when I was 8, then moved to California just before I turned 11. Or 12, I should say. And by the time I was 20, I had moved 12 times. So those moves had a big impact on me. Number one, I felt very insecure. Number two, I learned quickly how to fit in and to make new friends. And number three, I desperately wanted to be accepted. So it became very clear to me early on that the expectations were pretty high in the Cohen house, which is my maiden name. And I have a memory of my grandfather when I was about 6. He was a formidable fellow. He was over 6 feet tall, and he was a mathematician. What's 4 plus 4? 5? No! It's 8! Did you know it's 8? What did I know? I was only 6 years old. And my grandfather intimidated me so much in the area of math in particular, and granted, he didn't even live in the same city as I lived in, that I literally blanked out on about 4 years of math in school. Sometimes is never quite enough. If you're flawless, then you'll win my love. Don't forget to win first place. Don't forget to keep that smile on your face. Be a good girl. You gotta try a little harder. That simply wasn't good enough to make us prouder. We'll love you just the way you are. If you're perfect. So, I quickly learned that getting good grades, having brains, and letting my parents be right were keys to survival in our household. And that old expression, children are meant to be seen and not heard, definitely applied in my home. And don't get me wrong, my parents did and still love me with all their hearts and really had the best of intentions for me, and they were just doing the best that they know how to do. So oftentimes I didn't feel like I had really a voice in the house unless I was singing. And when I was singing, that, most of the time my life felt like, don't cry out loud. But when I sang, I could express sadness, I could express anger, I could express fear. When I was about 17, my mother decided to move to Boston to join my father, who had moved again, to save their marriage. And I decided I didn't want to move anymore. I was a senior in high school, so I wound up graduating high school a semester early. I was officially emancipated, legally emancipated. And I auditioned and was accepted into the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, to my surprise. And really to my surprise, my parents were on board with this plan. So I was the youngest student at the time. I was 18. I had just turned 18. And at first, I was so excited. Wow, my dreams are going to come true. Whatever those dreams really were, because I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. But I knew I liked to sing, I liked to perform, and I must have some talent, right? Because they accepted me into the program. So the format was very exciting. We had singing, we had acting, I learned I could dance, and at first it really was like, fame, I'm gonna live forever, I'm gonna learn how to fly high. But then with time, I was introduced to method acting. And I don't know if you're familiar with the method acting. It's a technique to help actors connect to their work. And what you need to do is attach personal experiences and memories to different parts of the scene. And suddenly, for me, this felt like every day for a week we would need to feel the motion down the hill. Every day for a week we would need to hear the wind rush, feel the chill. And I dug right down to the bottom of my soul to see what I had inside. Yes, I dug right down to the bottom of my soul, and I tried. And everybody's going whoosh, whoosh. I feel the snow, I feel the cold, I feel the air. And Mr. Karp came up to me and asked, okay, Cohen, what do you feel? And I said, nothing. I'm feeling nothing. And he said, nothing can get a girl transferred. They all felt something, but I felt nothing except the feeling that this Fulton was absurd. So, my experience became more challenging for me as I got more into this method acting, which took me straight to my perfectionist head. And I worried and worried that I wasn't doing it right. Until one day during summer break, I had just come home and I got the mail, and I was opening up the mail and I saw that I had a letter from the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. We regret to inform you that you haven't been accepted into the second year program. We encourage you to pursue your other talents and interests. Rejection. How can this be? I was doing what I loved. I got positive feedback. How could this be? My perfectionist kicked in and told me, well, you obviously suck at this. So you need to figure out something else quickly. And at that point, I turned my back on my creativity for over 20 years. So very quickly, within a 6-month period, I went to college. And at first I was a psychology major and knew pretty quickly that that wasn't the right fit for me. And then went straight to business school. And the girl who literally needed hypnotherapy for math anxiety and taking tests somehow managed to get through 2 economic classes, 2